I'm getting right to it. This won't be long. I just wanted to create a custom update for every team, as well as keep our meeting schedule on, a regular cadence. So I went ahead and just initialize this meeting. I don't really expect anybody to be here right now, but I am happy to share a lot of mod specific updates. Um, so that just everybody has an idea of what to expect next week, how everything's going to work, and exactly where we are in the process. So let me go ahead and share my screen, and then I will be ready to go. Okay. So as you guys can see, specifically in the recording, um, we have a lot of stuff coming up, right? Let me just go to the timeline. We're essentially ending the week on a great note. The marketing team is finishing up all of their work on the tools, specifically on the tools that we will be needing on Monday to kind of initialize the Guff holder, right? To initialize all of the Guff holders and get them going. Um, it's all being finished. It's being tested, and it mostly has to do with automated messaging and automated shilling. So the plan is to essentially go ahead and get everybody in the room over the weekend. I know that that's already been done, and also activated as things get going. So on Monday, I expect us to, or on Sunday, I expect us to start making announcements, right? So the main things that the mods are going to be in charge of is two to three things. Number one is announcements in the Telegram channel, right? Um, the mod team is going to be basically in charge of maintaining the schedule, making sure everything is being published, that any questions are answered, and that all of the announcements are going out on time. The key point there is that everything will be pre-scheduled, so it really should just be like 5 to 10 minutes of worth of work, copying and pasting from here in the first couple of weeks as everyone gets their bearings, so that we can go ahead and have a good cadence and a good idea of exactly how we're going to end up publishing these announcements, because they're all in order, right? Um, so I have a list, and I'll be publishing this list to you guys, but this is just something that I'm still finalizing first, um, of how essentially everything is going to work. So on that Sunday, we are going to essentially start our pre-rollout summary. You guys can see that here, right? Like the zeros is day zero, so it's not quite day one. Basically what that's going to do is, like, every single week we're going to publish a summary of what's coming up on the week on Sunday. It will always follow this template. Excuse me. And this template will be provided when I start having the mods actually write the updates, which will probably be about 2 or 3 weeks in. But for now, like, we're always going to publish a summary on Sunday to give our holders an idea of what's coming up in the week, and any major announcements that we have scheduled for the week. So you can see that's on Sundays, right? And it will basically, the date will be over here, but I just wanted to let everybody know that's like the first thing. The second thing that we're going to do is on Monday, we're going to start with the formal announcements, and what those are going to basically include is launch sequence announcement and the C announcements. So let's pause there. On Sunday, we are going to initialize the C protocol to basically start letting people register to receive their airdrops. During that registration, we will probably end up doing a lot of testing in other groups until we finally get everything working properly over the weekend, and then we will finally deploy on Sunday into the main contract group. on that contract group, the next thing that will essentially happen before any of these announcements go on is that we'll do the pre-rollout summary, right? So that's just letting everybody know, hey, we will be essentially starting this process tomorrow, and kind of giving them a heads up of, what's about to happen and all of the things that we expect for the week, because it's been pre-scheduled. The next thing that will happen is that the dev and marketing teams are going to work in conjunction to do four things, excuse me. So they're going to be added to the portal, right? Every single Guff member is going to be added to a specific portal. It's called the Guff Airdrop portal. So every single member in the group hopefully will be added to that portal and given the option to join a new group. That's number one. Number two is they will all get DM'd, right? A similar message to essentially join the new project group and to claim their airdrop, right? So that's number two. They're going to get two forms of communication directly. The third is we have a list of all the users in the group, and they're going to get all pinged, right? Like there's a ping all function in the team group. I know you guys have seen it. That same ping all function is going to be implemented into the project group, and we will end up essentially using it just to let everybody know, like, hey, there is a new update, check out the newest update, and to basically kind of reinvigorate the groups. A slight thing, all of these updates are going to get pushed in three places. They're going to get pushed in the new group, they're going to get pushed in the old groups, and they're going to get pushed in all of the announcement groups. And it's going to be one message that gets forwarded through all the groups. So that's essentially how it's going to work. And that covers like the launch sequence announcement, right? So the launch sequence announcement is where all of that's going to basically kick off. And that's going to essentially also kick off the conversations and the orientation messages, which we will go over right now. So now that we have that, on Sunday or on Monday, the other thing that's going to be announced is the C announcement. So we're going to essentially make one or two announcements. I haven't decided yet on the group to let people know exactly what's happening and how to start claiming their airdrops, right? We're basically going to let them know, like, hey, this is the beginning of the launch sequence. And, you have the opportunity to start claiming your airdrop and to earn additional tokens before anybody else, and to get everybody registered, right? That's day one of the rollout, right? Day two, we're going to hopefully announce the pre-sale. Now, it really kind of depends on exactly where we end up at the end of the week. If that pre-sale is going to have a date on it, I'd like for the date to be the following Monday, so a week from when we kick things off, but it may drift into next week just a little bit to make sure that we have everything tweaked properly. So a date will be optional. We were not sure if that's going to happen, but we're going to essentially introduce each part of the project to them on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we are going to release the white paper, right? So we're going to essentially do a white paper announcement, and then we're going to do a C registration reminder, right? To let them know, like, hey, it pays to be in this chat. And then 3 is we're going to introduce the command list. So the command list is what most of the mods are going to be using to answer most questions that they have. And we're going to introduce that command list on Wednesday and essentially do some follow-up stuff with it throughout the week to make sure that everyone is getting an idea of the command list, right? On Thursday, we're going to hopefully initialize the countdown, right? So on Thursday, the goal is to actually initialize the countdown, which means that the DApp will essentially be pushed into production, and the dates for the time decay and for the end of the countdown dates and times will be set explicitly for a launch date and also for a AMA date. So it will basically be the same thing where we have where we have essentially like gotten to the point where we're ready to push out our excuse me, to push out our our DAP. We'll also be publishing an AMA survey or summary and a marketing summary, because if the DAP is going to successfully launch on Monday, then the major marketing push would begin on Saturday. Friday, we would do one more marketing announcement, an AMA for the community, and the summary for the week. And then Twitter, we would announce the Twitter initialization for C users, begin with the YouTubes and the AMAs, the launch countdown. And then at that point, we'd be at step 2. On Saturday, we would roll out additional Telegram content. The Twitter content would start rolling out, automated outreach and portal activation. So the same thing that we did to initialize the Guff users, just on a much wider scale with, our 500,000 leads. We would then start YouTube and AMAs, airdrop and call group information, and manual and automated shill campaigns, right? So that would be kind of where we begin there. And we would do all of that till Monday, where we would essentially launch the first AMA, or the first launch day AMA. Give the upcoming week summary. Would be on Sunday. Starting call groups, YouTubes, and then launching contests. So that's just like a detailed summary of how everything is designed to work for the first week. Specifically, the mods are going to be really, really having to lean on the commands list to answer questions. Keeping everybody in sync, getting control and management over the group, and essentially just managing things on a good level. So, and as well as the announcements. So I'm going to continue to communicate with everyone, and let them know exactly where we are, and to make sure that we're in sync. And then hopefully on Monday we'll be able to get to it, guys. So I know this has been about 15 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and post this video in the chat, and then if you have any more questions, feel free to let me know. But looking forward to it. I really, really am excited to get started, guys. And then you guys let me know if you have any questions, and we'll go from there. All right.